When a customer came in reporting that the check engine light was on, I connected a scan tool to diagnose the issue. The scan tool revealed the code P0101, mass or volume airflow A circuit range performance. This code typically indicates a problem with the mass airflow MF sensor, which measures the amount of air entering the engine to ensure the correct air-fuel mixture. To investigate further, I monitored live data from the MAF sensor on the scan tool while the engine was idling. The MAF sensor parameter was below the specified range. To confirm, I snapped the throttle and observed that the MAF sensor reading did not increase to the expected range, further suggesting an issue with the sensor. Next, I inspected the air inlet tube and intake system for any leaks or visible damage that could affect airflow. Everything appeared intact, with no obvious faults. To be thorough, I used a smoke machine to induce smoke into the intake system and checked for leaks, but none were detected. I removed the air MAF sensor for a closer inspection and visually examined its sensing element. There were no visible signs of contamination or damage. I also checked the MAF sensor harness and connector for any issues like corrosion or loose pins, but found nothing unusual. With the ignition on, I used a multimeter to check for reference voltage and signal ground at the MAF sensor connector, and both were present, indicating the power and ground circuits were functioning properly. At this point, I decided to back-probe the MAF sensor signal wire and monitor its signal on a lab scope while the engine was idling. When I snapped the throttle, the MAF sensor signal was below specification and did not increase at the expected rate, confirming that the sensor was not functioning correctly. To rule out wiring issues, I monitored the MAF sensor data while wiggling the sensor and engine wiring harnesses, but there was no change in the parameter. Based on these findings, I determined that the MAF sensor was faulty and needed replacement. After installing a new MAF sensor, I cleared the fault codes and performed a road test. The vehicle operated properly. The check engine light stayed off and no fault codes returned. This diagnostic process ensured that the root cause of the problem was accurately identified and resolved. Testing the MAF sensor's signal and verifying the integrity of the wiring and intake system prevented unnecessary parts replacement. A properly functioning MAF sensor is critical for maintaining the correct air-fuel ratio, ensuring optimal engine performance, fuel efficiency, and reduced emissions.